Buckle up, America. Are we headed for an auto apocalypse? The signs are all around us and they're not looking good. Friends, Americans, countrymen, lend me your ears. We are at a crossroads and the road ahead is foggy. Today we're talking about cars. Not just any cars, but the very backbone of our daily commutes, our road trips, and our economy. Not the fun kind like a '67 Mustang or a DeLorean. Those are the dream machines, the icons of a bygone era. No, we're talking about the state of the auto industry, the nuts and bolts of what keeps our world moving. And let me tell you, it's about as pretty as a Pinto in a rear-end collision. The industry is facing challenges that could change the landscape forever. The question on everyone's mind, is the auto market on the verge of collapse? With rising costs, supply chain issues, and changing consumer habits, the future looks uncertain. You know things are bad when even the economists are nervously eyeing their used Toyotas. The once stable market is now a roller coaster of unpredictability. But folks, it might be even worse than that. We could be looking at a full-blown crisis that affects not just car manufacturers, but every single one of us. We're talking potential economic meltdown, dealership deserts, and more unsold cars than a post-apocalyptic parking lot. So buckle up, buttercups. The ride ahead is going to be bumpy. We're diving deep into the belly of the beast. From the assembly lines to the showrooms, we'll uncover the hidden truths. And spoiler alert, it ain't pretty in here. The auto industry is in dire need of a tune-up, and we're here to diagnose the problem. Let's talk numbers, shall we? Numbers have a way of telling a story that can sometimes be more dramatic than a Hollywood blockbuster. They reveal trends, highlight issues, and sometimes they scream warnings that we can't afford to ignore, because nothing screams impending economic crisis like a few well-placed statistics. First up, vehicle days to sell. This metric is a crucial indicator of the health of the automotive market. When cars sit on lots for too long, it signals a lack of consumer confidence and purchasing power. This fancy term basically means how long a car sits on a lot before someone buys it. The longer the days to sell, the more it indicates that people are either unwilling or unable to make such significant purchases. Remember the good old days when a car flew off the lot faster than a toupee in a hurricane? Those were the times when the economy was booming, and people had the disposable income to spend on new vehicles without a second thought. Yeah, those days are gone. Now, dealerships are struggling to move inventory, and the lots are starting to look like ghost towns. This isn't just a minor hiccup, it's a sign of deeper economic troubles. We're talking record highs, folks. Then there's negative equity. This is when the amount you owe on your car loan is more than the car's current market value. It's a financial quagmire that many Americans find themselves in. That's the financial equivalent of being stuck in a car loan from hell. Imagine paying off a loan for a car that's worth less than what you owe. It's a sinking feeling, like trying to bail water out of a boat with a hole in it. More Americans owe more on their cars than they're worth than ever before. This isn't just a statistic. It's a reality that's affecting families across the country. It's causing stress, financial strain, and a sense of hopelessness. It's like being upside down in a clown car, except it's not funny. It's a serious issue that can lead to long-term financial instability. People are finding themselves trapped in loans they can't afford for cars that are losing value faster than they can pay them off. And don't even get me started on credit card debt. It's another layer of financial burden that's weighing heavily on many households. High interest rates and mounting balances are creating a debt spiral that's hard to escape. Let's just say it's higher than a giraffe on stilts wearing a top hat. The average American household is carrying a staggering amount of credit card debt, and it's only getting worse. This debt is not just a number, it's a daily struggle for many, and the cherry on top, skyrocketing MSRPs. The manufacturer's suggested retail price for new cars has been climbing steadily, making it even harder for the average consumer to afford a new vehicle. Remember when a new car cost less than a small island? Those were the days when buying a new car didn't require taking out a second mortgage. It was a time when car ownership was within reach for the average person. Those days are gone, my friends. Now, even the most basic models come with a hefty price tag. It's a tough pill to swallow for anyone looking to buy a new car in today's market. We're talking luxury car prices for a Honda Civic. It's a clear sign that the automotive market is out of reach for many. The combination of high prices, long days to sell, negative equity, and mounting debt is creating a perfect storm. It's a statistical cocktail of disaster that we can't afford to ignore. Here's the thing, folks. The auto industry is built on one thing: people buying cars. But when people are struggling to afford gas station sushi, something's gotta give. And what's giving is the average American's ability to buy a car. We're talking record-high monthly payments for new and used vehicles. We're talking insurance premiums that rival your monthly mortgage payment. Owning a car is starting to feel like a luxury only the 1% can afford. Think about it. You're already shelling out for groceries that cost more than a semester of college, and now you need a new transmission? Forget about it. You're better off investing in a really nice pair of walking shoes. Remember that old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough buy a new car? Well, apparently the going got so tough that even the tough are saying, nah, I'll stick with my rusty old jalopy. Because major car manufacturers are pumping the brakes on production. In the last quarter alone, production dropped by 15%. And by pumping the brakes, I mean slamming them on so hard you'll get whiplash just thinking about it. Factory output has plummeted by 20% year over year. And it's not just production lines grinding to a halt. We're talking about layoffs. Over 30,000 jobs have been cut in the past 6 months. Thousands of hardworking Americans shown the door. Unemployment in the auto sector has surged by 10%. The canary in the coal mine? It's dead, folks. Factory closures have increased by 25% this year, and it's wearing a factory uniform. Section 5. Dealer discontent. Smoke and mirrors can't hide the truth. Now, you might think the auto industry is just going through a rough patch, a little bump in the road, right? Well, tell that to the dealerships drowning in a sea of unsold cars. Over 70% of their inventory remains unsold. They're like the used car salesmen in those shady commercials, except they're not laughing. Because these cars, they ain't selling. Monthly sales have dropped by 25%. Dealers are stuck with inflated inventory. The average dealership has a 60-day supply of cars. They're being fed misleading sales reports. Reports show a 15% increase in sales, but the reality is far different. It's all smoke and mirrors, folks. And the only thing disappearing faster than a car salesman's promises are their profits. Shareholders are getting antsy. Dealers are getting desperate. And the whole thing is starting to smell like a subprime mortgage crisis on 4 wheels. Section 6. The quality conundrum. Are we sacrificing craftsmanship for profits? In today's fast-paced world, the automotive industry is under immense pressure to churn out vehicles at an unprecedented rate. But at what cost? Are we trading the time-honored tradition of meticulous craftsmanship for the lure of quick profits? Remember when cars were built to last? Those were the days when owning a car meant having a reliable companion for decades. When you could drive a Volvo until the odometer turned into a Picasso painting, Pepperidge Farm remembers. These cars were not just machines. They were a testament to human ingenuity and dedication. But these days, cars are starting to feel more disposable. It's as if the soul of the automobile has been replaced by a ticking clock counting down to its inevitable breakdown, like a smartphone on wheels. Sure, modern cars come with a plethora of advanced features and cutting-edge technology, but at what expense? We're talking about declining quality. The intricate craftsmanship that once defined the automotive industry is being overshadowed by mass production and cost-cutting measures. We're talking about parts shortages. The global supply chain disruptions have only exacerbated the problem, leaving mechanics and consumers alike in a lurch. We're talking about cars that break down faster than a politician's promise. It's a frustrating reality for many drivers who find themselves stranded on the side of the road more often than they'd like. And you know what? It's not just bad for consumers. The ripple effects of this decline in quality extend far beyond individual inconveniences. It's bad for the economy. When cars are constantly in need of repairs or replacements, it drains financial resources that could be better spent elsewhere. Because when cars are built to be replaced every few years, it creates a cycle of dependence. Consumers are trapped in a never-ending loop of buying, repairing, and replacing. It creates a cycle of dependence. This cycle benefits the auto industry, but at what cost to the average consumer? A cycle that benefits the auto industry but leaves the average American with an empty wallet and a driveway full of lemons. It's a stark reminder that in the pursuit of profits, we may be sacrificing the very essence of what makes a car truly great. The question remains, is it worth it? As we move forward, it's crucial to find a balance between innovation and quality, ensuring that the cars of tomorrow can stand the test of time, just like the classics of yesteryear. According to a study by IHS Markit, the average age of cars on the road has increased to 12.1 years, but this is more due to economic factors than durability. In fact, the average lifespan of a car has decreased from 15 years in the 1990s to just 8 years today. Car recalls have also surged, with over 53 million vehicles recalled in the U.S. in 2016 alone, highlighting the growing concerns over quality and safety. The trade-off is clear. While production costs have decreased by 20% due to automation and cost-cutting measures, the quality has taken a hit, leading to more frequent repairs and replacements. A recent consumer survey revealed that 65% of car owners are dissatisfied with the longevity of their vehicles, citing frequent breakdowns and high maintenance costs as major issues. As the industry continues to evolve, it's essential to address these concerns. Balancing efficiency with craftsmanship could be the key to restoring consumer trust and ensuring the longevity of future vehicles. Section 7. Credit crunch, the auto loan engine stutters. Remember those carefree days when you could walk into a dealership, point at a car, and drive away with a loan approved faster than you could say zero down? Yeah, those days are gone, my friends. The auto loan engine is sputtering, banks are tightening their belts, and getting approved for a car loan is about as easy as winning a staring contest with a statue. Auto loan approval rates are plummeting faster than a meteor. In fact, approval rates have dropped by 20% in the last year alone. And with interest rates higher than Snoop Dogg at a Cypress Hill concert, averaging around 6.5%, fewer people can afford the monthly payments. The result? Fewer cars sold, dealerships hurting, sales have dropped by 15% compared to last year. And a big, fat question mark hanging over the future of the auto industry. With over $1.2 trillion in auto loan debt, the market is on shaky ground. Section 8, the electric elephant in the room, EVs and the inventory glut. Now some folks are looking at the electric vehicle market like it's the savior of the auto industry. A shiny, eco-friendly knight in shining armor. But here's the thing, even EVs aren't immune to the auto apocalypse. In fact, they might just be the elephant in the room gorging on unsold inventory. You see, while everyone's talking about going green, not everyone's ready to shell out the big bucks for an EV. And those government tax credits, they only go so far. The result? EV sales are falling short of expectations, and those unsold electric cars, they're just adding to the mountain of unsold inventory. In 2022, EV production surged by 50%, but sales only increased by 30%. This mismatch has led to a 20% increase in unsold inventory, with over 100,000 EVs sitting idle in lots. Dealerships are feeling the pinch, reporting losses as high as 15% due to unsold EVs. The electric dream is facing a harsh reality, with numbers that just don't add up. Section 9, crash landing, brace for impact, and an uncertain future. So there you have it, folks. The auto market, a tangled web of economic woes, consumer anxieties, and industry uncertainty. Is a crash inevitable? It's like trying to predict the weather in a tornado. Anything could happen. But one thing's for sure. The warning signs are flashing redder than a stop sign in a school zone. Dealerships could close, manufacturers could struggle, and that government bailout everyone's hoping for, well, let's just say the government's got a lot on its plate right now, so what can you do? Buckle up, hold on tight, and maybe start practicing your best I told you so face, because the road ahead, it's gonna be bumpy. With car sales plummeting by 20% in the last quarter and a projected 15% drop in the next, the numbers paint a grim picture. Factories are halting production, and layoffs are becoming the norm. The future of the auto market is more uncertain than ever.